Florida, the former president has made his return to the public eye. Spoiler alert, nothing has changed. Today's speech at CPAC, his first time in front of an audience since leaving the White House, and it was back to business as usual. It took just seconds behind the mic for the same old lies and tropes to begin spewing. From his self-made reality that he won in 2020 to dangling the potential of another run in 2024.
I stand before you today to declare that the incredible journey we begun together, we went through a journey like nobody else. There's never been a journey like it. There's never been a journey so successful. We began it together 4 years ago, and it is far from being over.
Trump speaking what the crowd in Orlando views as gospel. Today, a clear revival for the man who, for now, appears to still lead this Republican Party.
We believe that Trump, is the heart and soul of the GOP, and they can't ignore him. There's 72 million of us that like the guy and voted for the guy. You can't brainwash 72 million people.
It sounds like the playlist was full of the greatest hits. What can you tell us about that and the results of the CPAC straw poll?
You know, Alicia, it was full of the greatest hits, but at the same time, I sort of had the mindset going into this after watching Trump all these years that after several weeks of not really being able to have any kind of a public presence since leaving the White House, how seemingly low energy this has been today, both in terms of the crowd's reactions and in terms of the way that he was on stage. I think in terms of content, it was also pretty predictable. I did notice a few glaring differences between the remarks that I was told were prepared and the concepts that he brought up here. Chief among them, I was looking to see the way that he would handle the results of the 2020 election. And lo and behold, he continued to repeatedly revive the false claims that really deny the reality of what happened in 2020. The reason that's a departure from what we expected here was that this whole conference has been based on repeated panels about election protection and election security. You look at the CPAC straw poll, and over 90% of people feel like the election results were not free and fair in 2020. That's the result of repeated disinformation about what happened in 2020. Trump stayed on message insofar as he advocated for election reform, basically things throughout the states that would be codified that would make voting harder for Americans compared to what it was in 2020. At the same time, though, he went further than that to fully revive the claims that he believes that Democrats cheated and that he actually won the election in 2020. Going a little bit deeper, though, there's some interesting trend lines in that CPAC straw poll. Trump won, unsurprising. At the same time, though, only 55% of people said that they wanted him to win the Republican primary in that hypothetical Republican primary matchup. The reason that's surprising is this is literally an event that was made in Trump's image. People were joking about it being called T-PAC for Trump PAC. There was also a gold-hued statue here that was made in Trump's likeness. And even going a little bit deeper, it seems like his ideas are popular here, but maybe not so much his persona. 95% of the folks inside this self-selecting group of conservatives say they want the party to continue to lean into Trump's ideas, but only 68% of people say explicitly that they want Trump himself to run again.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.